Let's jump into some baseball, man. Let's jump into some baseball. And we're going to start in this AL Central from the bottom. And this was an interesting one right here with the Detroit Tigers. Now, Detroit Tigers, I'm reading over here on covers that they're saying that they expect them to go over the 57 win mark because they don't really see them losing over 100 games 2 years in a row. But the Royals did it last year, and I don't see no reason why the Tigers couldn't really do it again. And when you got these type of teams, which me and Joy talked about last week that I'm working on learning is bad teams in baseball. And I seen some jibber-jabber stuff about teams that are not interested in winning, and that's a thing. That's a real life thing, I guess, in some baseball clubs that they don't want to win. So the Tigers right here sitting at the bottom should be staying at the bottom. You could win your whole 6-month house notes with a $100 bet on them to win the division, but it'll probably never happen. But Tigers, anything to say about the Tigers, especially after watching the Tiger King on YouTube there you've been watching? I don't want to say nothing with Tiger in it right now. What y'all got on these Tigers? What you got, Joey?
Yeah, this team's really bad. Last year they had 47 wins, 47 and 114. My projection this year has them winning 57 games, so losing 105. I mean, they lost the last 2 years, or the last 3 years, they lost 98. Well, last year they lost 114. Then before that, 98 and 98, back-to-back years. So they've almost lost 100 3 years in a row. They really haven't done anything to make their team much better. They still what's his name is Miguel Cabrera is still getting paid, so they basically have to slot him in the lineup at the 3-hole. So I mean, they got Maben, they added C.J. Cron, and they added Jonathan Scope. But I mean, their starting rotation. They still have Matt Boyd, who's decent, but I would expect they trade him for some sorts of assets. The number 2, Jordan Zimmerman, Daniel Norris, Ivan Nova, Spencer Turnbull, and then they do have Michael Fulmer. The delayed start 2020 would probably help with him because he's working his way back from Tommy John. But I would expect, they probably will sell him high because they were on the cusp of trading him, and then he got hurt anyway. And they probably would have got something better than what actually he's going to come out to be in the future. But this team is really bad. They'll be, they will be battling as one of the worst teams in baseball, I think.
Yeah, it looks like last year lost 114 games, which was a record over in baseball. Some of the worst, along the worst records right there in baseball for these Tigers. My dad got family in Detroit. I always used to expect good things out of Detroit, but they just never seem to fare out for the fans in Detroit. What you think about this squad, Parlay?
Yeah, I think this is the worst team in baseball, hands down. You have two pieces here. Riley Green, 19-year-old top 40 prospect. In the outfield, and also you got a great pitcher in Casey Mize, an arsenal of pitches. He's got a lot of stuff. But who else do you have? The pitching is not the worst. Jordan Zimmerman, that was absolutely wild, just fading the opposing team when Jordan Zimmerman's pitching. Just take the first 5 team total over on the other side. That must have hit 14 out of 15 times. The bright piece in that department right now is probably Spencer Turnbull, who is a rookie. I did make money backing Turnbull with the Tigers in a couple starts. But, with Boyd and Norris, these guys are, I think they're over 28 years old. And as pitchers who aren't really developed, they don't really – they're decent, they're decent pitchers, and there's really nothing in the pipeline here in Detroit. When C.J. Cron is your best hitter on the team, and this team has not been able to score shit for years, right? For a couple years. When C.J. Cron comes over last year, automatically becomes the number 1 star, you're in a world of trouble because you have no trading pieces, you have nobody in the pipeline. Miguel Cabrera, like Joey's saying, still here for 2023. There's nobody here to hit the ball literally. I don't know what this organization doing because it's really, really poorly run. I got to say this is probably the worst brand franchise in baseball. This is going to be the worst team in baseball. And for me, I think they hover around that win total, and there's not really spots where I think I want to back them ever. Maybe when Turnbull's on the mound going under first fives or something, but it's real tough to try to think that there's anything bright in the future for Detroit because there's really nothing, right? I think this is the worst team in baseball, number one.
So volatility wise right here, Papi, I think this could be a volatile spot for those. I know you don't do futures, but for those that do futures right here, now when they lower the bar like this, that creates volatility where now this team just has to get 58 wins to beat the win total for this year. And I think the over, it should be in play right here, volatility-wise, being that they set the mark. Now, even though they did underachieve last year, it would still be under what they brought in the bar down this year. But I got to expect them to tilt up just a little bit.
Yeah, you need them to tilt up 11 games higher than last year, though. Have they made 11 games worth of – and now – I mean, that's with them playing 162 games, so that's probably out the door anyway. But
yeah, true that. We were thinking hypothetically, like Papi said.
Yeah, I got you.
We got to stay positive because this is all hypothetical stuff, man.
Yeah, it's all hypothetical. Yeah. Now, I know, Parlay Papi. I know it's difficult for all you exercise heads to work out in these times, and I don't want y'all eating this bad stuff. But we got to add a little food to the program, and I went and got some pictures of all of these stadium food. Now, on top of this being the worst team in the league, I think they have the worst stadium food. What a waste of hat right here to put a mashed potato and meatloaf cupcake.
That's in a helmet.
In a helmet, in a dirty helmet. What the
That's
heck
a very
is
Detroit
that?
thing to do, though. That's very
that's kind of sad.
It's like street savvy street food. You know what I mean? Like corner of the behind the stadium. You buy that from one of these homeless people. You're like, yo, check this out, man. $25.
They make those right there, man.
Yeah, they make them right there in the.
Sheesh. Well, they're living down to the expectation, even at the stadium. Look how many people in the stands right there ain't at the game.
That's real. That's a real life dish at this park. That's amazing.
That's crazy, man. Who-Bangin Sports Talk. What up, though? Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.